cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome out to Music Monday, y'all, once again. Got a great show lined up for you. But before we get into the show, I want to invite everybody out to the 5th Annual Cancer Awareness Comedy Show. This is going to be in Houston, Saturday, November 11th. So if you're in town, make sure you come check us out at Johnny Blue Grill and Seafood. We got tickets on sale now for $30. If you go on to Eventbrite, you can purchase your tickets there. But we do have hard sale tickets. If you see one of the guys out or something, just make sure you get one from them. But that's going to be November 11th, the 5th Annual Cancer Awareness Comedy Show. So Jeezy, y'all, I want to talk about Jeezy real quick.
All right.
So Jeezy got married to Jeannie Mae. Of course, she was one of the hosts on, what was the name of the show she was on?
The View.
The View, yeah. Real big show. Of course, y'all know they got married and going through this divorce after 2 years and one child. Well, she went and hired a high-powered attorney that represents celebrities in that area from Atlanta. So now this attorney, he's actually represented the other girl, Nene Leakes, in her divorce. Also, Christina Milian against Dream with her fight, with the Dream. Remember, they was together. Right. Also, Mike Epps in a paternity suit he had. So this attorney, very high power sources saying, named Randall Kessler. A high powered attorney to go after your husband that you say that you really want it to work. You really want your marriage to work with your kid and everything, but you went and got a high powered attorney to get the best, I guess, for the situation for you, because that's the only reason you go and get this high-powered attorney.
Oh, yeah.
It's about the money, you know.
Yeah, you know what some people say? They say when you get married, you're entering a business agreement.
Right. But
when you get a divorce, that is now a lawsuit.
It's crazy.
yeah, that's true.
It's the truth. That's exactly what it is, So after 2 years and they didn't had a child, all of a sudden now, is quits. They calling it quits. And it's funny because the thing is, when you got these two celebrities, man, and I always said, if I was one of the top entertainment person, I wouldn't marry somebody in the entertainment field.
Oh, no.
I just wouldn't do it.
No.
Because it turns out like this every time.
But do you think it'll turn out like that if you marry just a regular person, you got all the bread, and that person don't have no bread? Do you think it'll still turn out the same way?
I mean, it just depends on who the person is.
Yeah.
It could go any way, But I think if it's somebody that's not in the entertainment field and they don't have the type of money you have, you got a little more pull in most of the stuff because they looking towards you to do it anyway.
So it sounds like if you got some money, you need to get a prenup.
Yes, every time.
But it also depends on the person and the state.
The person,
Right.
Yeah.
State.
State.
Like the state that you're in.
The high-powered attorney you talking about. Now, somebody recently, they did sign a prenup, but I don't know if it's the same attorneys they have hired.
Yeah.
But they hired high-powered attorneys, even though, Tyrese's wife.
Yeah.
They signed a prenup.
Yeah.
But she hired high-powered attorneys for what?
To go after what? If she signed a prenup.
Yeah, if you signed the prenup.
Yeah,
so
that prenup is stating, hey,
and
when we break up, I take what I brought, you take what you brought.
Right.
You don't get none of mine, I don't get none of yours.
Yeah.
That's what the prenup means. So why
Exactly.
would you go and get a high-powered attorney to fight against an idea that you said was okay?
So it's why even sign a prenup if you got
Why did
you
you
gonna
sign it?
still lose?
I mean, it may be something,
Holes in it.
what they accumulated after the marriage.
Yeah.
Maybe he got greedy or said something on the lines of where she couldn't.
Well, see, in this situation with Jeezy and Jeannie, he left her. He went and filed. He filed divorce on her.
It seemed to me that if both of y'all come in the game with bread, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter who has the most
most,
bread, but
yeah.
both of y'all are rich, right?
Right.
And it seems like the prenup should be simple. Like, okay, whatever amount dollar value that I come in with, I leave with.
Exactly.
Whatever
Right.
you come in with, you leave with.
Right.
And whatever we build together, we split it
We
down
split
the
it.
middle.
Split it down.
Right.
Right.
It seemed like that should be simple.
Simple.
It
I
should
agree.
be simple.
I totally agree, Freddie G.
Yeah.
But greed.
Yep.
And hurt people want to hurt people.
It
Hurt
takes
so,
over.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it is.
That's
You
true.
know, they trying to stab you. Well, I ain't gonna say stab you in the back, but they just trying to cause pain, especially if they're hurting.
Then too, it seems like it seemed to me that men are less likely to file for a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got men out here that do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they're less likely to file for divorce.
Right.
And women are more likely to file
All
for a
the while.
divorce. So if you get a man to a point to where he files for a divorce,
Something really went
something wrong. You done
Yeah.
did something to him to
Yeah.
make him
Exactly.
to
Yes,
piss
sir.
him off.
And
I totally
that's
agree.
that's what it was. You know, he just probably said, I'm tired. I can't deal with
Can't
this.
do it no more.
Because I mean, if you took the time to have a child with a woman, you really cared a lot about her to be with her for 2 years.
Yeah.
As a man,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's a lot of time wasted.
Yep.
To just say, you know what, I'm done for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be something that makes you say that. And she know what the truth is, just like he know the truth. We don't know the truth, of course, but they know.
Yeah.
And, I guess to the public, we won't know until, I guess, more is said from them.
Yeah, then too, you said she going to get the high powered attorney.
Yeah, you know.
So she mad because he filed for the divorce.
Right.
So I'm fit to stick it to
well,
him.
because
Yeah.
that's exactly how she thinking.
Yeah.
But then she'll turn around and say, okay, but I want my relationship to work, my marriage to
yeah.
work.
Right.
Come on, you tripping? You
Yeah.
know what I'm
And
saying?
that saying that you said earlier, Freddie G, a marriage is like a
business
and
contract.
a
Business
divorce is
contract,
like
yeah.
a lawsuit.
A lawsuit, yeah.
And very seldom do the men benefit from that lawsuit.
Yeah, right.
You know, we always talk about
Look,
men.
yeah, it's always one. There's always one. There's one. You have one example where it's, and I'm really proud of. We were talking about Tyrese and what he's
Yeah.
going through, right?
Right.
So with her, it's so crazy because normally a girl will come and confess maybe years later. They just went through their divorce, and she's already saying, "I had the wrong people in my ear. I messed up." So. I don't know.
You know what?
What?
You know what? She very well could have learned the error of her ways, right?
Yeah.
However, it could be also that, you know what? I divorced him and I tried to hurt him, but he's still shining. He's still making money. He's still looking good
Yeah.
and doing what
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah, they don't like that.
So now let me come back and say that, see if I can get back in good grace.
And do it all over again.
It could be.
Possible.
Yeah.
Could be. So
That's
who
true.
knows?
That's true.
So I hope the best for this situation, for Jeezy. But I mean, at this point, I don't know who have the upper hand in this situation because it's just a big mess, actually. But I hope the best for them both in this situation. They overcome the differences or whatever they having, just on the sake of the child. The kid needs to see both parents. It shouldn't be a bidding war on when I see my child, or when
Well, maybe
you
that's
get
what
to
the
see
high
child.
powered attorney
That's what-
had to do with the child.
That's what it's about, and Jeezy is the one saying, just let me see my child.
Well, he's trying to make it easy. it
Right.
sounds like.
He
that's
not
it.
the one that's saying,
Yeah.
see, that puts a different spin
Yeah.
on the whole story now, you
Yeah.
know. So she went and got a high-powered attorney because Jeezy is saying, I want to see my child.
Man,
I
it's-
want to co-parent with, my child.
It's so crazy with her because if you go back to her videos about before COVID, about 4 or 5 years ago, she's on there with, I think she's on there with Vivica Fox. It's like a little
Round table.
but it's on the video. So I think it was during COVID because nobody could get out.
Right.
And she's talking about and all these girls on there. Well, I ain't gonna do this for my man on there. And she went off on them girls. She said, "Well, I'm submissive to my blah blah blah." So somebody must have got in her ear to where she just changed. You know.
Yeah. And
from 4 years ago, because I think that video was about 4 years ago. I seen it.
Thing is, whatever went on between them two, we will never know the truth in that. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be they know, and all we can do is speculate, which is what most people do. You know, sources say all kind of stuff, but we don't hear it from the truth. Right. But again, I hope the best for their situation. You know, and they can overcome it. Real quick, I want to move on to OffSet. So OffSet made a good statement to where I agree with him. He was saying that right now hip hop is boring. The new artists and rappers that's coming out, you know, not creative enough. They not, you know, putting more time and effort into making good music. But my thing is, I think AI have a lot to do with it on the music side. But it's starting to show that hip hop is not creative because the sales of hip hop are way down. Rap, you know, at this point. And he made a good point saying, you know, people just not, you know, putting enough creativity into what they doing. And I agree with that. All the beats sound the same. You know, everybody putting auto-tune. They saying everything. And another point he made was most of these videos in the background, you have a Rolls Royce, you know, and somebody back there dancing, and it's all about shining
and
you know,
jewelry.
And what all he's saying is that's not all that's going on. It's other stuff that's going on to talk about. Yeah. Knowing how to, I guess, talk about it. But everybody's really just, you know, I'm shining. I got my Rolls Royce, the chick over here dancing. That is getting boring. You know, bring something new to the table. Bring a new sound. You know, as a producer, creating a sound is what your main focus should be on. If it's something you're serious about doing. Now, you could be the type of producer to say, you know what, I'm going to do a beat like this beat. You can do that, fine. But do you have your own area where you can go and it's just you? Right. That's what's important to have, you know, to make creative music. And that's what the game is missing because everybody buying their beats offline. 3 for $10.
Yeah, and then not only that, it's too many things that people can access, programs you can access to make your own beats. You got amateurs making better beats than
because of AI. You know, it's destroying the sales of rap music. Right. So it's strange that, what do you call it, the top 200 records, you know, it haven't been no hip hop in the last couple of months. Yeah. You know, I think Drake was the last recently hip hop artist to even have a song in the top 200
that does sound
Billboard.
But that's, you know, it's more, you know what? And that's one of them things I think is because his style, I think they need to make another genre of him, call it contemporary rap, because most of people singing rap. Well, and I think because he's singing and he raps, it's like a combination. That's why he was able to make the top two.
So check it out. Yeah. We know that there are several elements to hip hop, right? And so Slash touched on the production part of hip hop. Well, of course, the creativity, that's your actual artist.
Right. It's got to be there.
Meaning what you're saying.
Right.
There's nothing that's going to be said under the sun. Everything that's been said has already been said. Right. It's just that you got to find a creative way to say it. And here's what I find interesting. What I find interesting is that OffSet, let's create some tiers for a second, right? You have at the beginning of hip hop in the 80s, right? and that group that kind of created it for the most part, the late 70s, early 80s, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had the people who were listening, who was influenced by that, coming down the pipeline. That would be kind of us, right?
Right.
And so where you get your NWAs, your Ghetto Boys, and all of them, right? Mm-hmm. Then you had other people who were listening to them, which is still kind of us, which would give you your T.I.s and your 50 Cents and all of them, right?
Right.
And then you have the group where I think OffSet falls in.
Yeah.
Kind of influence and listening.
The newcomer.
A$AP Rocky, all them.
Now you got to think. We were looking at the tier where OffSet and all them. We're looking at like, who are these mumble rapping dudes?
Yeah.
Who are these dudes?
Yeah.
We're looking at them like that.
Yeah.
Well, now it's people coming behind OffSet.
And
OffSet is looking at them like, who are these dudes?
Yeah.
These dudes are not creative. These dudes are so.
But they was the influencers.
To those dudes. Yeah.
That's why his statement. He understand what he's saying.
You're following me.
That's why he know what he's saying, because he see it.
He's seeing it, just like we were able to
see it. Yeah, and
like,
exactly.
Where's the creativity? Where is it? Because we thought that about them.
Yeah,
we thought that about.
We thought that
about that.
The same thing.
And now he's starting to see.
Yep. So it's a circular cycle.
It's a cycle. Yeah, it's a cycle.
A recurring cycle is what this is. Music, and it's always been that in fashion, music. It's always a recurring cycle. Everything goes around and comes back.
Yep.
It's just in a different form and fashion, different type of people.
Now, I will say this, though. Just from the era in which we come from, as well as the era before us, it does feel like the 90s and before, it does seem like we really had something to say.
Yeah.
We did. We really had
because
something to say.
We was about our rights at that time, having equal rights.
That's your public enemy.
Yeah,
right.
You know, we was about civil rights.
Yeah,
having our rights as black people.
Yeah.
So that was what the 70s was about, and it came out in music. But there is nothing now. I mean, think about it. What can these youngsters rap about right now? What's really going on?
Well, I mean, if you look at it just like you were saying earlier, Slash, how it repeats itself.
Right.
They can still rap about the things that we rapped about in the 90s. However, the difference, in my opinion, is, hip hop and rap was still, it was new then. Just like y'all just said, everything that can be said has already been said.
That's true.
In the 90s, it was new.
It was new.
Well, I don't know. When you think about it, rap is nothing but poetry. You know how many poems been written in the world?
True. Yeah.
So we can write poems all day. We can write raps all day. You just gotta dress it with a nice beat.
A
different beat.
Not to get too far off or whatever, but then too, man, you got to think. We had people like your NWAs who talked about what was going on in LA. All of the violence and the police brutality and all that stuff, right? You had your public enemies. You had your public enemies who were talking about, the blacks and your conscious rap. Right.
Yeah.
You had all of that, right? So today, kind of like what piggybacking off K Money, today, these youngsters, there's still racism going on, but they're not really talking about it.
Not right.
No,
there's still police brutality going on.
Yeah, they just not.
But they're not talking about it.
Yeah.
They rather talk about pill popping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
it's the issues that they talking about.
They're not. The stuff is going on.
Yeah, it means nothing. The stuff they talking about.
They're not even looking at what's going on today.
Yeah, we don't have, like, back in the day when we was rapping, just like you just said, we had a self-destruction and the other positive song. These youngsters ain't. I don't think I've not heard, other than Drake's God's Plan. Yeah, that one. I haven't heard a positive song out of none of these youngsters. None of them, and came together and collabed on it.
And speaking of positive songs, I want to kind of change the tune real quick. I want to talk about an artist who hasn't been out or who hasn't recorded a record since 2016, but she is reportedly planning a $38 million comeback Rihanna.
What?
She haven't had an album since 2016. So it's been a while since except she had a single I think she did on
She got $1 billion. What you need an album?
Yeah. So wait.
For the art.
What was the name of that movie? Black Panther. She had a good single out on that, so that was one of her last releases that she did.
That was 2023 though. That was this year.
Right.
So
that was
March,
but
April.
she haven't had an album.
Yeah.
So that song that she released on there was just kind of a taste of saying, okay, boom, I'm finna come back.
Gotcha.
So that was the opening to that. Mm-hmm. So now she's planning a $38 million. She already know how much money she's planning on making just with 2 albums and a world tour. But she's gonna
make another $1 billion off that $38 million.
She's the only woman in music with $1 billion, bro. Rihanna's the only woman in music with $1.something billion.
But here's the thing too. Now you said something interesting. The last time she put out an album, what year you said?
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Here's was crazy to me. Now I did not know that was the last time she put out an album, but that tells me how relevant she keeps herself.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form, she's always been relevant. Mm-hmm. And then when you say she's the only billionaire, I know that just didn't come from music.
No, she's been.
There's
she's
no
been,
way.
No,
that's diversifying her portfolio.
Makeup line.
Yeah, but being in music, I guess they just kind of saying she's the only woman in music.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. But she's planning to do that. So I'm excited to hear what kind of album she come up with because I like Rihanna, man. When she drop her song, she jamming.
She jamming all the.
She know what she doing. So real quick, I want to move on. I want to talk about Drake. Now, if y'all know anything about RIAA, that is Record Industry Association of America. Mm-hmm. So now Drake made history. Mm-hmm. So Drake becomes the first artist in RIAA history to earn 200 million certified single units as a lead artist. 200 million.
God, that's a lot.
200 million singles. Now let's just say each one of them sold for 99 cents, which this is how they probably add up. Uh-huh. He made $200 million off selling one song. And it may have been several different songs, of course.
Yeah.
It's not all one song, but it's just the fact that this is how many singles. No artist has done this in history. Besides, if somebody did 200, Drake is actually at 230 million.
Oh, wow. That is nice.
Single sales. First one in history, RIA.
Drake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
So shout out to Drake. But did y'all know he had a whole record label with artists from Canada?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
OVO.
I'm going
OVO, his OVO label
is
a list of a lot of different artists from Canada. Yeah, but he's got the hottest Latino rapper right now.
Who is
signed to Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
Bad Bunny.
He signed to Drake's
OVO.
label.
Oh, he is the big.
He's the hottest Latin rapper.
Yeah. He was
right
on
now.
Cardi B's Like It Like That. Yeah.
And so I mean, shout out to Drake. Drake doing his thing.
I think he got Balvin. J Balvin. I think that's his name.
He's got a list of people that I don't remember the names, but Bad Bunny was one of the ones that really stood out because of his success right now.
Oh yeah.
So OVO is the name of his label.
OVO is the name of Drake's label.
Yeah.
Now OVO is his label. So shout out to Drake. I think he's doing the right thing, man. To have been in the music for less than 15 years, he really making some good moves. So shout out to Drake. Glad y'all came out to check us out again. Check us out tomorrow. We out. Peace. So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. On Twitter, @52 Scott Podcast.